We're going to make some chicken cacciatore. Everything will be listed, the weights of everything. That's a lot of basil, but I'm putting it in there. And some fresh oregano, garlic cloves, sun-dried tomato, green pepper, red pepper, fresh tomato, capers, onions, tomato sauce. On the stove I have some hot chicken stock sitting over there. And then we have, of course, the chicken, and I'm using chicken legs, the thigh and the leg, for a juicier chicken. So let's get started. I want to score the chicken. Why? To quicken the cooking time and let the flavors of everything get in there. So just cut the meat like so, and the legs, a couple of places. That's it. Now we're going to season this with a little salt and pepper, and we're going to flour it, and we're going to saute it. We're going to throw all the vegetables in there along with that. So it's really everything in one pot, and I'm guessing about a half hour maybe, so we'll see. Well, now that the chicken is prepped, I'm going to take my salt and pepper mix, which is always nice to have. This way you don't have to be dealing with taking out both. Put salt and pepper. Turn all the chicken over, do the same to the other side, then we'll get the flour and we'll start to saute. So we're going to start sauteing the chicken. Moderate flame. Get that olive oil in there. Moderate flame looks a little hot, but that's okay. So we'll dust the chicken, meaning just roll it around, shake it off, and get it in there. Do that with every piece. And we're going to brown both sides. And once we get finished giving it color, then we're going to take the chicken out. Put the vegetables in there, saute them up a little. Get the stock, the tomato sauce, put them in there after the vegetables cook up a little. Place the chicken back in there and let it simmer until done. Let's see, it's 10 minutes to 6 right now. We'll see how long this takes. So I'm cooking this just in time for dinner, and I have a pot of water over there. I'm going to have some pasta with this, of course. While the chicken is cooking, then you have everything else set up. The carrots usually doesn't go into chicken cacciatore, but I like it. So you can do whatever you want sometimes, as long as you stay with the basics. Sun-dried tomatoes, don't usually, but it's a tomato product. Tomato fresh, some do, some don't. Onions, some oregano, I'm leaving the leaves on. The peppers and everything there, you see everything is julienne, nicely julienne. The garlic is just sliced so I can bite into it when I'm eating. And as soon as that chicken is ready, then we're going to go and saute this. And then put the wine in a few minutes with the chicken. So we'll be deglazing it a little bit. So what we're going to do here, we're not going to waste the film on this. What I want you to do is to not turn that over, it's not brown. So as soon as you see that the chicken is brown, on one side, turn it over. When it's brown on the other side, remove it, and then we'll continue. And have enough olive oil in there so you can hear that sizzling sound. If you don't hear that sizzling sound, then you don't have a high enough flame. Almost. Well, that's been a few minutes, so we'll wait. Just by the sound, I'm thinking I have good color now. That's it. Like that. Like that. And sometimes you have to move things around in the pan. One side is usually hotter than the other. Now a few minutes on this side and we remove. I think we're ready to remove the chicken. Very nice. And we're going to come over right away with the vegetables. Get them in. I used 5 chicken legs, and 2 people will be eating this. We're going to season this. Looks like it's hot, but as soon as you drop everything in there, how about what I forgot to do? I said I was going to deglaze the pan. See what happens when you're in a rush? But you know what? We'll get the flavor in there. And we'll put it in there at the same time we put the chicken in. Now that's a lot of vegetables and everything, and you can't leave this cook without seasoning it, because this will just draw the flavor out of anything that's seasoned, and we'll have like bland food. So what you have to do is add some more salt and pepper to this. If you're cooking for somebody else, season it well. If you're cooking for yourself, you don't have to put so much salt. Like I'm sharing this meal with another, so I have to season it because she likes a lot of salt in her food. And I don't want to hear any complaints. So we'll saute this. Notice, it's not smoking anymore, because that just killed the heat, but we still have a high flame. We'll leave it like that. Every couple of minutes, mix this like so. You'll see it'll shrink. The tomatoes will disintegrate a little bit, and then we'll go about putting the chicken stock, the tomato sauce in there, and then the chicken and the wine, and let it cook down. Now as we're cooking the vegetables, you want to keep the moisture in there. You don't want to dry it out, so it's coming along but not ready yet. Cover it. Quicken the time, keep the moisture in. We don't want dry vegetables. So if you do it like that, we'll be in good shape. A couple of minutes and we'll continue. That was about another 3-4 minutes. See how everything is nice and soft now? Now I'm going to add the wine. Raise the flame to high. Most of the recipes use white wine. But then you can use white wine, but I'm using a Merlot today. Why? Because that's what I like to do. I think the red goes nicely with tomato, and that's why I did it. But you can use whatever wine you like. Because who's eating this? You or someone else? So you do whatever you want. As long as it looks like a little bit like chicken cacciatore, you can call it that, because there are many ways of making it. Yeah, look up the recipes. Look up 10 recipes for chicken cacciatore, and then see the difference in each one. So when a person says, well, I like this in it, well, that's just fine. What I'm really doing here is showing you how to put the item together as simple as possible. So this we're reducing nicely. And I'm going to add the tomato sauce and the chicken stock. There's the chicken stock. And the tomato sauce, which is homemade. And now the chicken is going back in there. And that, I could tell already, that's going to look pretty when it's all done. In goes the chicken. And the last item that'll go in there is that huge amount of fresh basil, which I didn't chop up. I'm leaving the leaves whole, just the way I do when as if I was adding fresh spinach to a dish last minute. I like seeing the leaves wrapping themselves around the food instead of having the basil all chopped up fine, unless you are using dry basil, which you can do. Okay, we get a cover for that. And as soon as it really boils, I'm going to simmer it. And now we'll set the timer. Let's figure, I'm saying 20 minutes. Start. I'm pretty good with the guessing of the time sometimes. Not all the time. About 2 minutes, then I'm going to lower the flame. To go in there will be the fresh basil. Notice the amount. Takes a lot more fresh basil than it does the dry basil for flavor, but the fresh looks so nice in there. Actually, this is enough for 3 people. It's 5 whole chicken legs, which gives you 10 pieces. That is nice. Now I'll check my pasta and I'll show you the finished dish. There's the finished chicken cacciatore. And we have a lot more sauce left over for that 1 pound of pasta that's cooking over here. And that's coming out in about 10 seconds. And I'll just put these 2 on the table and show you both pieces together. And there's the pasta. And all we'll do is put a little olive oil all over that. Nice virgin olive oil to go on that. And there's the complete dinner that I'm going to enjoy in about 10 seconds. I hope you do too. Almost forgot one item, the capers. Oh, now we're boiling, so let's simmer. So don't just leave it, for the time. You can move things around. The sauce is perfect. It's not too thin, it's not too thick. The flour will thicken it up slightly. That's on the chicken. That's why you flour it, really. Plus it tastes better. Looking good. I like all the vegetables in there. Okay. With the pasta, which is not part of this recipe, but just to let you know, I'm putting broccoli into the pasta like the last half a minute, right into the water, and the broccoli will be ready with the pasta. Well, we got 5 minutes left on my timing, but I want to check this because I want to cook my pasta. Not yet. 5 more minutes, so maybe it'll take a half hour. Let's see how this is. Still a little firm. Well, let's take a look at the 20-minute mark, and what we have here is that feels pretty good. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes, so that's 25 minutes, and now I will start my pasta. This is also not part of the recipe, but this hot sauce, which is becoming more and more popular in the kitchens, because I see it all over when I work. I'm just going to put a little in there.